So why does he call it not quite live? As those dozen or so diehard people saw, my internet really sucks. And I tried twice and there was some intermittent feedback. So I'm back to recording organically and popping some stuff up for you. But the good news is I'm recording this literally after I got dumped off the live stream for the third time. So now you know why I call it Sunday Night Not Quite Live. So what I found tonight to share with you, it's very interesting. What I'd like to do is be able to talk with you guys, though, like in the comments and exchange ideas, so it's not just me talking at you. We're finally building a cool community of people. So I'm going to work on this. For now, let me share what I've got because I think it's going to lead to some really cool research. One of my commitments for the month of December was to further reinforce the birth of Jesus Christ this Christmas season. For myself, and for my children. You know, you fall into this trap because when your kids are little and they, the magic of Christmas and the lights and the presents and it's a happy time and you want to encourage it, but you also want to make sure Christ is at the core of what you're doing, the birthday of Jesus Christ. So in researching information to just share outside of the core nativity gospels that appear in Matthew and Luke, I looked in the Dictionary of Early Christian Beliefs under the birth of Jesus, and I found writings as early as Justin Martyr, which is like the 150s, Clement of Alexandria, Origen, Tertullian. All of them have a few common denominators. One, Jesus was born in a cave, placed in a manger. Tertullian made the claim that he had done the research and found Mary in the Roman census. That is a claim of objective fact. If we can't find anything to discredit that, well, don't we have something then? Further, the star that appeared in the sky, 3 of these writers of the early church prior to the mid-200s claim that this wasn't one of the known constellations, that this star was new to the sky, that it was so remarkable that Magi came from Arabia to worship. They apparently knew what it meant. Something else I find very interesting. 2 of these writers prior to the year 250 make a claim about the time of the birth of Jesus. Prior to our calendar, we've had the calendar change 12 times through 12 cultures since then. The AD system of dating doesn't even come about till the fall of the Roman Empire. Dionysius Exiguus, I believe, did it. Anyway, one makes the claim it was 194 years between the birth of Jesus and Commodus, the ruler at the time. It was said to be during the time of Augustus. Very, very factual data. Now, doesn't always mean if they say it was this year, this month, and this day, doesn't always mean that it's accurate. The Liber Pontificalis is a great resource for early church history, but it is loaded with later additions and what seem like guesses. I mean, maybe at the times that these things were edited, it made sense to change them, but to us now, it's been so long that these changes don't make sense, and they come across just strange. In fact, the book itself shows 3 columns, and sometimes one column will say, he ruled for 15 years, 1 month and 5 days, and the column beside it will say 18 years, 3 months and 2 days. Now, do you believe it's changed for sinister reasons, or do you believe well-meaning people sat down with a text and somebody who lives in 700 years after the fact, under a different calendar system, trying to calculate what the true time would be after having changed calendar systems? This is so boring, I'm in the weeds, but the point is, there are claims of objective fact by these early church writers. It's fascinating. Well worth researching, and I'm going to look into them. The claim of Tertullian stands out to be the most. He is saying, hey, this was such and such time ago, and Mary is listed in the census. It's also interesting that Joseph, in the Gospel of Matthew, it says that he was a just man. And so he wanted to put Mary away quietly when he found out she was pregnant by the Holy Spirit, naturally thinking this is gobbledygook. But he's visited by the Spirit saying, hey, it's true. It's of the Holy Spirit. Stay with her. So God chose a just man to be the earthly father of Jesus. I find that interesting. Anyway, thank you all for the $55 that we brought in this week. It was well used. Thank you for sticking with me, even though I am the worst live streamer in the history of this platform. I will try to do something to accomplish our goal of being able to communicate with each other, with me listening to you as well. The comments I do, there are about a dozen of you that I pretty regularly communicate with, and I do feel a bond with you, but it'd be nice to communicate in real time for sure. Please continue to support our work, and I will see you early this coming week with some videos on these very topics. We'll spend some time in the Christmas weeds and see if we can come up with any interesting stuff. God bless you. May your work today bear fruit. May God be enough for us today. May He guide us in the way that we should go. May He guide our words, that they're useful. May He bless us with gratitude. May He bless us with care and health as we go through this crazy thing called life. Hey, I want to recommend a video to you. I am not a preacher, so I don't do sermons that often, but I'll tell you, this Tower of Babel thing I was reading in Genesis, and it really struck me. I'm feeling more and more like God is telling me, blessed are the peacemakers. I can't help but feel like the stage of the world, if you look at the nuanced details and you have a sense of history, is being set for something that is not good. Call it World War III, call it what you want. There's a reshuffling of the global deck going on, and the best thing we can do right now is pray for God to withhold His judgment, to remove His hand of judgment, to give us more time. We have generations of people who have no concept of what war is like. If we must be forged in the fire for that time, may God prepare us. May He strengthen us to stay strong. But if that can be held off, we should all be praying for it to be held off. Because the natural state of humanity seems to be war, and it is not going to be pretty once it goes down again. Sorry to leave with something so heavy there, but those of us who find ourselves committed to living a Christian life and just maybe getting a little more each day in tune and making a little bit of progress on that journey, it doesn't escape us. We see it. And one of the things we have to do to make progress is as we learn to pray, and we learn to pray aloud, and we go through the stage of asking God to strengthen us and to change us, that our prayers become focused on others and the needs of others, and we begin to realize the importance of praying out loud for others. It doesn't have to be a lot of fancy words. It can be very small and very simple. Empathy increases. Instead of our own fear, we begin to understand that other people are afraid too. Think of the St. Francis prayer. Instead of being understood, help us to understand. That type of thing. Anyway, God bless you all. May your work today bear fruit.